Let's remember that what's happening in Gaza today is not contrary to what much of the media tells us. It is not a war. It is a one-sided genocidal assault. It's a one-sided genocidal offensive on the people of Palestine. To illustrate that, let us understand that one single Israeli civilian has been killed, whereas on the other side 220 Palestinian civilians have been killed, of whom nearly 50 are children, are babies who were playing football out on the streets or who were sleeping in their homes when they were killed. Let us understand then that this genocide really has to stop, and we can stop it only if we contest the understanding that this is some war that started with a Hamas rocket. That is not the case. The fact of the matter is that the story begins in 1948, soon after India became independent. Palestine became occupied, Palestine was colonized. And this is something that India's freedom struggle and its fighters, the freedom fighters then, recognized very well, which is why even Gandhiji at that time had said very clearly that Palestine belongs to the Arabs as England belongs to the English or France belongs to the French. It's that self-evident. And that is why right since then, India's freedom struggle, and because India recognized that the same British colonialists who colonized us for 2 centuries, they are the ones who then organized the imposition of the Israeli state on Arab lands and colonized Palestine. Today what is happening out there is not a battle between Jews and Muslims. There are Jewish voices all over the world who have spoken out in voices of conscience and courage, who have said that it is a terrible, tragic irony that what happened in Nazi Germany is in a strange, distorted mirror image way being replicated by the Israeli state. The same kind of racism towards the Palestinians, towards the Arabs, is being seen that was abhorred by the whole world in Hitler's Germany. This is something that Jewish voices have said. Not only that, the same Jewish families that lost 3 teenagers in an absolutely condemnable criminal killing, and whose killing is actually the pretext on which this entire genocidal offensive is being launched. Those families met with Palestinian families who lost their young ones, and those families got courage from each other. They wiped away each other's tears. So let us fully understand this is not about Jews versus Muslims. This is about fighting occupation. This is about Palestinian resistance. Now there are those who ask, why should India speak on this? Why should Indian Parliament debate this? India has other problems. Why do we need to talk about a war happening in Israel and Palestine? I'll tell you why. There are 2 reasons to this. One is, of course, what I've already said, which is that this is about India's freedom struggle in a way, because in Gaza today, Gaza is one big Jallianwala Bagh today. In Jallianwala Bagh, during the Indian freedom struggle, people were cordoned off into a closed area, into a closed ground, and they were shot at and a whole massacre took place. Gaza today is one big besieged place. It's a big open-air prison in which medicines are not allowed to be reached, people's orchards are being destroyed, people's lands are being taken away, and people are held captive there, and they are regularly being subjected to these genocidal offensives that Israeli hardliners have referred to as mowing the lawn, such a disgusting racist language. And it isn't only us on the left who are calling who are saying Palestine is occupied. Israel's first prime minister actually openly admitted that yes, we are here to steal their lands, and if they see us, if the Arabs see us as people who are there to steal their lands, to occupy their lands, they are right. Ariel Sharon, another Israeli prime minister, also openly said that you can't have a Jewish state without occupation, without colonization, without the expropriation of Arab lands. So this is openly, shamelessly admitted by Israeli leaders. Israeli leaders have referred to Palestinians as beasts walking on 2 legs. They have referred to them as grasshoppers. An Israeli MP the other day called for the genocide of Palestinian mothers. This is open racism. Now in the world, South Africa would still have apartheid if the entire world had not risen up to say that apartheid must end then. If South Africa had not been boycotted, till they ended apartheid, apartheid would still be alive over there. As we remember Mandela today, let us remember that. And what is happening in Palestine is also apartheid. It is also a Holocaust. And so let us not be guilty of silence, we need to speak. But the other reason also relates to us here in India. This is not just about our conscience about apartheid or Holocaust or racism elsewhere in the world or colonization elsewhere in the world. It's about our democracy. Today when Indian people speak out on the streets of Delhi, outside the Israeli embassy, then the Delhi police comes there and for raising a slogan for Palestine, they come and hit a woman protester on the mouth with a helmet. Why is this? Why should the Delhi police feel that a slogan raised for Palestine is something they have to take personally? We should worry, because it appears that the Indian state and those who rule it today are trying to mold India in Israel's image. They are telling us today, and their ideologues on the ground are telling us today, that India must behave as Israel does towards its minorities, towards its nationality struggles, towards its neighbors. And this is something that should worry India, that should worry the world, because it will reflect a rolling back of our freedoms, our democracy. And the other question here is that what should India do? India should unequivocally condemn the genocidal offensive, and it should call a spade and call it that. It should send aid to Gaza, it should send aid to the Palestinians, and India should stop buying arms from Israel. India is today one of the biggest purchasers of arms from Israel, and by doing so, it makes us ordinary Indian tax-paying citizens, it makes us complicit in that genocide, because we are subsidizing the Israeli state and the Israeli army in killing Palestinian children today. So today, let us stand with the Palestinian child who speaks out for freedom with a little stone, a little pebble in his or her hand. Let us salute their courage. Let us salute their courage, and let us be like Rachel Corrie of the United States, who went to Gaza to speak for the Palestinians whom her country would not listen to and who was brutally killed by the Israeli army there. Let us show that kind of courage today inside India. Let us speak for the Palestinian freedom struggle, and in doing so, let us defend our democracy and our freedom.